Hello, everyone. Happy October and happy Halloween season to all of you, the fans of Falls Count Anywhere, live once again on the Rhode Island Broadcasting Network, and every Wednesday at 5 on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, as well as Amazon, Google, Spotify, TuneIn, Red Circle, and Podbean podcasts. Please find us on Buy Me a Coffee at RI Broadcasting, as well as be a supporter of our Facebook and YouTube channels to be a subscribers to get up to the date information and alerts on Rhode Island Broadcasting. Patreon also is a way you can help support the channel and help us grow as well. So for those that want to be a supporter of this show or Sports Unfolded or Going On Daily, join us on Patreon to help support us. And also, for those that want to be an advertiser on Rhode Island Broadcasting for either Going On Daily, Sports Unfolded, or here on Falls Count Anywhere, your ad will be read here. The ad will be read so not only people will see it, but the audio version will be on Spotify, Amazon, Red Circle, and many more. For those interested and wanting more information, please send an email to Rodrigo at all lowercase and all one word at ribroadcasting.media at gmail.com. Again, that's all one word, lowercase, ribroadcasting at ribroadcasting.media at gmail.com. Ron will set you up, get you everything you need, and get you out the door with how you can get involved with us in this company. But as I mentioned before, my name is Erik Dunn, and it's a pleasure to see all of you again as we're now 72 hours away from Bad Blood from the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. And man, is it a card to dive into. But before that, we got to do the 10 takeaways from Raw and SmackDown together. That's right. I've got another one here for you from the man that is the veteran NFL writer and Pat McAfee show contributor, Mark Caboli, with his thoughts from 1 to 10. And then after that, I got a little update for you on NXT as it debuted on CW. That's right, WWE television is back on the CW for the first time in about a little bit over 15 years. And then a little update regarding SummerSlam next year in 25 and where it's going to be. It will all be unfolded throughout our time together. This broadcast of Falls Count Anywhere is the exclusive property of Erik Dunn Productions, Rodrigo, and Rhode Island Broadcasting for the use of our audience, but any publication, reuse, or redistribution by anyone is not prohibited and is given the express consent to be shared everywhere and worldwide and is greatly appreciated. All right, the 10 takeaways. So let's begin with number 1. And again, this is from veteran NFL writer and Pat McAfee show contributor Mark Caboli. All credit going to him with this article from WWE.com. Number 1, odds and ends. Orton going behind Owens' back and telling Rhodes to get their backs during the match with the Bloodline was, in my opinion, a subtle clue to this all. Bayley versus Naomi for the number 1 contendership for the WWE Women's Championship and to challenge Nia Jax. They had a triple threat written all over it. But a clean win by Bayley ended that thought, and it made sense for Bayley to get a rematch, but that's how she lost at SummerSlam. The rivalry between Carmelo Hayes and Andrade has run its course, but then catch myself saying more than watching them in the ring. 2 spots told you the entire history of this rivalry. Top rope superplex that Hayes turned into a neck breaker cutter, and Andrade's, I don't even know what to call it. Double moonsault where it looked like he sprung off the trampoline. With the series tied at 3-3, it's the best out of 7, right? I don't know what a Donnybrook is, but it sure sounds like something Sheamus would excel at. A banger. Don't ever change our truth. That backstage interview after Raw went off the air with Kathy Kelly was spectacular. So, Joanne Wild, that was wild. Shout out to referee Chad Patton for taking a big bump when the ring collapsed. That's number one. Number two, I got you. Try again if it doesn't work, then talk crap on a family member. Sami Zayn going after Gunter is still an interesting dynamic to me that sure doesn't appear it's going to work out in his favor. Gunter should manhandle Sami in the ring of bad blood, but Sami is no stranger to larger than life upsets. First, Gunter doesn't get riled over anything. That's part of his charm. But Sami's last ditch effort to get a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship should have worked. Shouldn't have worked, but it did. Gunter finally broke down and illustrated a story where his father was upset that he lost to a bum like Sammy. Your dad made you feel like a loser, and now you're showing your dad that his son is a coward. Is all it took. I love that I got you the declaration from Sammy after he got beat down by Gunter. Can you get him one more time next week. So Sammy took a dig at Gunter. That's funny. Number three, he really is a badass. Starting to show with an Undertaker like in the terms of getting the length of time of getting to the ring. The entrance by Jay was fitting considering it was the first time we saw him on TV since winning the the Intercontinental title of last week's Raw. His first single title of any kind in 14 years. It was the kind of expected to see the emotion out of Jimmy. Sorry, but also Jimmy as well recovering from his injuries. I'm sure couldn't have been happier for his brother. But for Jay, it was a surprise even to him and all of the WWE universe to see Braun Breaker's music hit. But instead of demanding a rematch against Jay, who said he would fight anyone and fight every week, he offered a congratulations and a handshake to Jay. But that was it, or wasn't it? Breaker being supportive of one of the hottest wrestlers in WWE made him more likable and it actually secured him a face turn. Sure, it helped Braun approach Gunther to get a closer look at the World Heavyweight Championship, and Gunther saying he really is a badass wasn't very subtle in terms of what Braun is after now. I question if 51 days of being IC champion is enough experience to get the ring general, but perhaps time will tell. Number four, Drew McIntyre's Braveheart. You can't pull out a Braveheart quote, Robert the Bruce to be exact, and think it's going to get by me. Drew McIntyre said, that hate will die with you, describing how Punk has turned him into a person he doesn't like. If anything came out of the promo between the two for Hell in a Cell, it was that they absolutely hate each other. Hate each other to a point where you question if it's part of the storyline or not, or if it's a part of reality. Now they have to take it to a point inside of the cage on Saturday that matches the intensity that came out of um, Monday's betrayal spitted by each one. Hell in a Cell should be brutal. Number five, Solo needed it. Solo not only pinned Owens with some incidental contact with the ref help from Cody, but Solo put together one of his best matches in recent memory. Now he doesn't get to wrestle as much on television as he would probably like because he allows his Bloodline brothers to handle his heavy lifting. But for Solo to be viewed as a real threat to Cody, Roman, or whatever, he needs to wrestle more and wrestle like he did on SmackDown, even though it was a tag team match with Man Crush Jacob Fatu. Number six, aged in. So that's got to do with Rhea and Liv. Um, Dirty Dom going into a shark ace, but this should be more to be expected, right? Rhea revealing that Dirty Dom was deadly claustrophobic perked up my ears. Number seven, don't cross Arian. WWE does such a good job of adding the storylines on all of the social media platforms. If you see Karen Cross's video about 2 hours before the start of Raw, then maybe a couple things didn't make sense during the show. Cross talked about how legends did nothing for him when he first got to WWE. I'm here to kill the old to make way for the new. The Miz and Xavier Woods, two guys that believe they never got their just due, were tired of being held down by the boys in the back. Miz turned on Truth, I believe, because he's tired of being disrespected in unannounced tag team matches and such. Woods getting a charity towel shot for the IC towel because Kofi felt bad for his partner. Plays into what Cross's motivation is all about. I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes, but who is next? But big shout out to Cross for bringing it all together with a flawless promo. Number eight, no problem unless you make it a problem. That escalated very quickly now, didn't it? Because Randy's return to SmackDown didn't come with any more than explanations. He didn't demand one from Cody, but instead he framed it as he deserved one concerning Cody teaming up with Roman. He made it clear to the undisputed WWE champion that it went from from that to easily the best one-liner of the night when Orton made it clear that there isn't a problem unless Cody makes it one. That's pretty vague from Randy, but it also indicated that he doesn't totally trust Cody either. SmackDown has done a good job of forcing you to look for clues to see what might happen next. Right now, it can go a number of ways. Randy turn on Cody, KO turning on Cody, or Randy and KO turning on Cody, or even Cody turning his back on his friends because, as he said, he would rather be a fool than a coward. Number nine, the visionary. Simple and to the point. If you don't think Seth freaking Rollins is the main eventer in this business, you're not paying attention. The WWE universe simply revolves around him. Rollins opened up to so many different questions that needed to be answered with his return. His beef with Reed for what happened at WrestleMania with Roman in a never happened main event on the first night of WrestleMania when he was supposed to take on CM Punk all needed to be answered. That all came rushing back into play with one stomp to the cranium of Reed. Not many can say that about themselves. And finally, number 10, the last one, unstoppable force. When you have more than 700 pounds combined in the square circle with Braun Reed and Braun Strowman, and you call it the last monster standing, if the ring doesn't implode at some point, then what are we doing? Those two behemoths are going at it. You knew the match wasn't going to be pretty. It wasn't going to be Rey Mysterio and Chad Gable. It was going to be involving tables, chairs, steps, barricades, and pure carnage. Strowman and Reed lived up to the nastiness of what the match had to be, with the collapse of the ring being the perfect topper to it all. Now, you can't gloss over the fact that Reed superplexed Strowman off the top rope for this to come to its climax and create utter chaos. Listen to the crowd's reaction when the ring collapsed. That was a big-time move for anybody. Okay. And those were the takeaways. Now, let's move on to Bad Blood. 72 hours away from the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. The first match is for the WWE Women's title, Bayley and Nia Jax. Bayley's most recent reign came to a grinding halt at the biggest party of the summer at SummerSlam when interference from Miss Money in the Bank Tiffany Stratton paved the way for the 2024 Queen of the Ring to steal the title and the victory. After both Naomi and Bayley pinned Jax at the same time in a high-stakes tag team showdown back on SmackDown on Friday, the question of who would challenge the dominant title holder remained uncertain. 1 week later, Bayley overcame Naomi in an explosive one-on-one number one contenders match to earn the right to challenge the WWE Women's Champion in Atlanta. Both superstars are now set for battle, but can Bayley stop the irresistible force and once again claim the gold? So, this is going to be interesting. I would say for this one, I would like Bayley to get it back, so I'm going to say Bayley for this one. And just so you know, there are 5 matches. Number 2, Cody and Roman versus Solo and Jacob Fatu. Reigns made a triumphant return at SummerSlam to attack Solo in an attempt to reestablish control of the bloodline, but the original tribal chief was ultimately laid out by the combined forces of Solo, Fatu, and the Tonga brothers in an explosive confrontation back on SmackDown. That attack left Reigns down and out, but he returned once again on the USA premiere of SmackDown in September to help the American Nightmare stave off an onslaught. With the two rivals now aligned, Cody and Roman will join forces against Solo and the Samoan Werewolf in one of the biggest tag team matches in the history of WWE. Cody and Roman will take this because it will lead to something bigger. But I wonder if something could happen with that. Cody and Roman are going to win that. Number 3, it is Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. But there's a catch with Liv and Rhea. Dirty Dom Mysterio will be suspended above the ring in a shark cage. The history between these two dates to 2 years ago. Blindsides, attacks that led to serious injuries, and the home wrecking that was just the tip of the actual iceberg. Morgan and Ripley squared off at SummerSlam, with Morgan coming out on top due to the actions of Ripley's former love, Dirty Dom. Dom turned on Rhea during the match, allowing Liv to retain her title, then left the arena locking arms and smooching Liv, shocking Rhea. Rhea and fellow Terror Twin Damian Priest were later officially booted from the Judgment Day by the actions of Finn Balor as he turned on Damian at SummerSlam as well. At Bash in Berlin, Ripley and Priest were able to gain some retribution as they defeated Liv and Dom in a mixed tag team match, with Ripley gained the decisive pinfall on Morgan. On September 23rd of Raw, Rhea revealed that Dirty Dom will be suspended above the ring in a shark cage, leaving Liv all alone to take on Mommy. Ripley will look to inflict punishment on the woman that destroyed her life as well as take back the title she never lost. Can Rhea end the reign of Liv and once again reach the top of the Raw women's division? I think it's going to be time. I think Rhea will take this back. I think Rhea's going to take this back. So I'm going to say Rhea with this one. And that's number 3. Number 4. Damian Priest and Finn Balor. They're finally going to go one-on-one and face each other. Excuse me. Former Judgment Day teammates are going to go one-on-one. Alongside Rhea and Dirty Dom, Priest and Balor enjoyed one of the most successful partnerships of their era, cementing the Raw and SmackDown tag team titles twice each, cementing the Judgment Day as a force. But the group imploded at SummerSlam when Dom betrayed Rhea during her women's World Heavyweight title match against Liv, and Finn cost Damian the World Heavyweight Championship against Gunter. Since then, Priest and Ripley have been itching to get their payback, and Priest will get his when he and Finn battle it out at Bad Blood. I think Damian will finally get his payback on him. Damian will take it. And in my eyes, I'm not sure what the main event is, but it looks like this is a contender to be the main event. CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Hell in a Cell. When Punk suffered an injury at the Royal Rumble, Drew stated he prayed for it to happen and mercilessly mocked Punk for his misfortune, but his actions, however, would have consequences. Punk had a front row seat when Drew won the World Heavyweight Championship from Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 40 in April, but Drew, becoming too distracted by Punk after the victory, paved the way for Damian Priest to cash in Money in the Bank to become the new World Heavyweight Champion. Punk then cost McIntyre a #1 contenders match the following Monday Night Raw and interfered in his World Heavyweight title match against Priest at Clash of the Castle in Scotland. An irate McIntyre fired back in calculating fashion when he pretended to quit WWE, only to unleash a brutal attack on Punk on SmackDown and steal a bracelet that represented Punk's love for his wife AJ Lee and his dog Larry. McIntyre went on to win Money in the Bank and insert himself into the World Heavyweight title match between Priest and Rollins on the same night, only to have Punk cost him the title again. The two faced off finally in a highly anticipated showdown at SummerSlam, with Drew emerging victorious over Punk after an altercation occurred between Punk and special guest referee Seth Rollins. In a brutal strap match at Bash in Berlin, Punk seemed as if he had finally put the heat of rivalry to bed when he conquered Drew and took back his prized bracelet. But McIntyre wasn't finished yet, because on the September 2nd edition of Raw, unleashing vicious, numerous Claymore kicks that once again, he took the bracelet and ripped it apart. In response, Raw GM Adam Pearce set up a third match, Hell in a Cell for Bad Blood inside the barbaric structure. Punk will get this. Punk will win, 100%. So let's go over the 5. I said CM Punk. I said Damian. I said Rhea. I said Roman and Cody. And I said Bayley. Those are the 5. And that is for Bad Blood in Atlanta. Now, let's go on to our next news with this regarding Bad Blood. Here's my whole take on it. I think it'll be a good show. I think it'll be a great show. And the reason why I say that is because I believe that for everything going on right now regarding WWE, it should be a great match. I think it'll be a great match. I really do think it's going to be a great match. The reason why I say that is because looking at the situation, there's a lot of twists and turns with this. Randy may be turning on Cody KO turning on Randy, or could KO or could Cody have a heel turn? I don't think Cody's going to turn heel. I can't see it. But here's what I'll tell you right now. You want to talk about making history? This brings me to NXT. So NXT premiered on the CW last night on Tuesday, the 1st of October. The first time WWE television was on the CW in over 15 years. And listen to this. It delivered its largest audience in a year. So it had 895,000 total viewers, 895K, up to 44% compared to last week's episode. The premiere peaked at 965K total adults between 8:15 and 8:30, and it was the number one telecast on the CW this year among adults 25 to 54 and adults 18 to 49. Fans following NXT's move to the CW saw Trick Williams regain the NXT title, guest appearances by CM Punk, Bianca Belair, and Jade Cargill, and the episode fueled triple-digit increases compared to the CW's Tuesday premiere season average of 114% in total viewers. It increased in the major markets of New York, Los Angeles, Dallas, and Detroit. Closed on the heels of the CW's premiere of the NASCAR Xfinity Series racing on September 20th, NXT's successful debut marked the second impressive premiere in its many weeks for the CW, demonstrating that viewers are increasingly turning into the CW for live sports. Also, last November 23, the CW Network and WWE announced a 5-year agreement to bring NXT broadcasting television for the first time ever to the CW. As the exclusive now home for NXT, the CW will air all 52 live weekly events throughout the season. Launched by WWE's Chief Content Officer Paul Levesque, as known as Triple H, NXT has aired weekly since 2012 and features the brightest and youngest talent in sports entertainment. Nearly 90% of the participants in last year's WrestleMania were developed under the NXT banner. Led by Hall of Famer HBK Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels, NXT is extremely popular with younger audiences. It will continue next Tuesday, October 8th, 8 to 10 live with the CW, and it being from St. Louis will feature a guest appearance by none other than the Apex Predator, Legend Killer, and Viper 14-time world champion Randy Orton. That's an impressive number. For years, the CW was always on WWE Network or USA. And also, let me also remind you of this too. By January, Raw will be 3 hours on Netflix. SmackDown will be 3 hours officially on USA. And NXT is going to cable television on the CW. Pretty freaking cool. But however, Raw will be 2 hours for the rest of the year, starting this month. This coming Monday, the 7th. So just keep that in mind. 2 hours. And then finally, SummerSlam 25. If y'all can't read that logo, that says New Jersey right at the very bottom of the word slam. If you zoomed in a little bit hard enough. New Jersey is going to host its first ever 2-night SummerSlam. MetLife Stadium, August 2nd and 3rd, 2025. Peter Dropick, the TKO Executive Vice President of Event Development and Operations, stated, "We are excited to bring WWE back to New Jersey in a major way." New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy and the entire NJSEA team have been phenomenal partners, hosting several major UFC events in recent years, including the record-breaking UFC 302 in June. SummerSlam this year at Cleveland Browns Stadium drew 57,719 fans, generating the largest gate of any event outside of WrestleMania in WWE history. Additionally, SummerSlam 2024 set all-time records in viewership, sponsorship, merchandise, and equipment. Sorry, social media. Equipment. Why did I say equipment? Social media. So The NJSEA was created back in 1971 and manages the iconic MetLife Sports Complex, which has entertained millions of visitors all around the world. The massive events include WrestleMania 29, WrestleMania 35, Super Bowl, I believe that's Super Bowl 40. Yep, Super Bowl 48. Sorry, I couldn't read that. Super Bowl 48, a Copa America semifinal and final, as well as the biggest names in the entertainment industry, such as Bruce Springsteen, the Rolling Stones, and Taylor Swift. All right. It's also home to the NFL's New York Giants and New York Jets, which will also host the FIFA World Cup final in 2026. WWE programming is broadcast to approximately 165 countries in 25 languages. On social media, WWE has more than 365 million followers. Trends on X, Twitter, 52 weeks a year, has more than 100 million subscribers on YouTube, and has more followers on TikTok than any other U.S. sports league. And the general ticket on sale date will be announced at a later date, and fans can register now to receive an exclusive pre-sale offer. So stay tuned for more information on that. How about that, folks? SummerSlam next year is in Jersey at MetLife. NXT has offered a big way on the CW, but Bad Blood. It should be a good show. And if there's one thing I'm paying attention to, it's simply going to be this. What will the outcome look like from a scenario of what makes sense and what doesn't? I will see come Saturday night what will have made sense and what won't make sense at all. The hardest thing that I try to look at for WWE is that it's not easy at times looking at the scenario of what makes sense, how is it all going to work out, but for WWE, how does looking at the situation um, for Bad Blood, how is it going to be how will it all work out and how could it look like? The biggest thing that I'm concerned about regarding WWE is simply this. Sometimes for WWE, they can either hit it very well or they cannot hit it at all. For WWE right now, they have the ability to make this happen. And personally, I think that they can do it regarding just how well they can deliver. The only thing that I am concerned about regarding WWE is how will they be able to not only hang in there, but improve. Because with each premium live event, they're breaking numbers from previous years. They're breaking money records. They're breaking sales records. They're breaking merchandise records, viewership records, attendance records. This is something that WWE wasn't able to do a decade ago. All it did was break WrestleMania records. That's all it did. Triple H running the show with Nick Khan, they're kicking ass everywhere. And it's a cool thing that every week you're seeing something different, but you're seeing something special. Next week's broadcast of Falls Count Anywhere, the recap of Bad Blood, the results of my predictions, and the SmackDown and Raw takeaways from this Friday night and next Monday night on what all happened on and how it all happened. So, on that note, happy October, happy Halloween season. And on behalf of the man behind the scenes, the creator of it, Ron Rigo, Erik Dunn here saying so long and thank you from my home in Bridgewater, Massachusetts. This has been a presentation of Falls Count Anywhere here on the Rhode Island Broadcasting Network. I'll see you guys then. And let's see what WWE does in Atlanta. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. I hope you all enjoy Bad Blood.